On a close one, but I guess games like these can make you better. What do you hope to gain from a game like that?
I think it was a good test for us. It was the first real time we had, I feel like some real live adversity, and I feel like we were able to respond. I feel like it's going to get us better down the road. So it was a good test for us.
And Jan, what did you see out of the team there down there that you pulled this one out?
Just a level of grit and toughness that we needed to win the game. It was just the equalizer for us winning the game. That's all.
You guys take that team a little lightly, or did you know they were fairly good?
I wouldn't say we took them lightly. We come into every game thinking we're going to win, but kudos to them. They played hard. They made shots, and, took advantage of our mistakes. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning. So we took care of business.
Jan, how about your journey here? Kind of, I mean, you redshirt a year, and then you played just real limited minutes last year. And now you're in crunch time and playing a lot of time. Just I don't know what it's just learning the system or growing up or what. You're pretty young.
It's just I think it's a level of just working for what I want and just giving the coaches that confidence to put me in when it matters and just showing up and improving every game and every day in practice. So just a level of consistency I've been working on, just to give the coaches confidence in me.
You two guys have been here the longest as far as the scholarship players, at least. Any bond there? The fact that you're the last guy standing a little bit.
Yeah, and we definitely share that bond. Being here the longest and kind of seeing how this program has changed over the years and guys come in and leave. So definitely a special bond we have.
You've seen him work for this opportunity. Is that a good lesson for guys across college basketball? Something you got to wait for your opportunity.
For sure, I definitely kudos to Jaron, for waiting his turn. And, like you said, he comes in every day. And, applies himself to the team, and he's a good addition to the team. And he's been working since he's been here.
You guys get nervous at all at a game like that, where you're supposed to be winning, and all of a sudden you're down? What's going through your mind?
I wouldn't just say nervous. I would say more just picking up the energy. I feel like that's kind of one of the reasons why we were down. Our energy wasn't super high, especially in the defensive end. They were hitting some shots and kind of bled into our offensive stability. So we just, like I said, we had adversity and we were able to fight through it.
There was a timeout called kind of late. You guys were trailing, I think, 3 or 5 points or something like that. I don't know what happened, but it seems like you came out and your defense really notched up. That's what brought you back into the game. Just what went on in that timeout, if you can remember, and then just how the defense brought you back.
Yeah, no, I think Coach kind of told us we're lacking a little bit on the defensive end. I think they were going on a little run, and Coach told us we're going to be able to get stops and play in transition, and that's where we flourish. And I feel like we did that, and it led us to give momentum.
You said it real calm like that? Or
I didn't say it like that, but it's definitely in a heated moment. But that's kind of the words of encouragement he gave us.
How about stepping up the line, needing those 2 free throws, and you've been in that position before, but first time in the season you've had to shoot pressure free throws like that. Just take me through what you're thinking at that point.
Man, I kind of live for those moments. I feel like those kind of define the type of player I am. I feel like the team has great confidence in me to knock down those shots, and I did.
You guys got a big one Tuesday, the first real big game of the season. What do you remember about the games against Cincinnati in the last 2 years?
It's always a fight. Their fans come out and like I said, it's always a fight. It's always a good game, and they got us last year, so we're kind of looking for revenge this year, and it should be a good game.
Building off that, the last couple of years, it was built as a neutral site game, quote unquote. This year, it's definitely partisan. How are you guys going to adapt, getting ready for that true partisan environment on Tuesday?
We got to prepare. Coach, kind of knows what to expect. He's been doing this for a while, so he's going to prepare us, and he's going to give us a game plan. And we're going to have to try to follow that game plan and stay locked into what we need to do.
Darren, how tough was that? We talked about before. You come out of high school, play a lot, and all of a sudden you you sit an entire year, and then you put some games last year before you got in. Now it's good. But what was that like this first two?
I mean, for me, it was kind of familiar because my first 2 years in high school, I didn't play at all. My first 2 years, and I started my last 2 years, so it was familiar. But I mean, I got the right people in my corner, just keep me motivated and keep my head right as far as like doing what I can to get better every day. And that was a part of the process. Just trying to get better every day, regardless of what I can control.
Why did you play those early years of high school? Were you good?
Now we had a good team. We had like 7 Division I players. Like, yes, we had good guys.
Are we good, everyone?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
My first year we had we started from senior year.
You know, a lot of these kids stick around just to get the first year thing. Because it ran about me, I can't transfer.
Can't really say you're a Dayton Flyer unless you talk to them.
Did you have any career at all first? Yeah, he hasn't written about it. Even a little bit.
Yeah. I hope he does some sort of.
I'm sure you had the same feelings all those years covering the Reds. Like,
Yep. Yep.
But over 162 games, you're definitely going to get that up.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Why popped up in my timeline just the other day, the infamous Eric Gregg game. Did you ever cover a game with him? Did you ever enter with him? Hal? Eric Gregg, the umpire. Oh, really?
I think you can mention almost any name from the
Well,
last 50 years. Now.
well, that is true. Yeah.
A hamburger, you got a price.
No, I just happened to see a bunch of posts on my timeline about the anniversary of that Levon Hernandez game. I'm like, oh, that game. One funny thing, but I took a ticket. They were the UMBC broadcast was talking about, each has his own version of the strike zone. They were thinking Greg Maddux was the brave start of that game, and he was in line for a good game. Well, maybe not Maddux, but Levon had a great game. Exactly.
Second He's like on the other side of the family, but still pretty close. She saw it. That's all wrong. Right now they're working on, they got work, so they're working on.
Grant and the King coach were talking forever. I don't know what that was about.
What's that?
Anthony Grant and the King coach were a long time.
We're proud of our guys, just the way we were able to respond today. Give UMBC credit. I thought they're a good team. We knew that coming in. They've had a few games here early in the season. Just watching them, a lot of respect for the way they play. They utilize their talent, put them in position to have success. For our guys today, I thought it was great lessons in the game. Really, just in terms of. I thought we came out and we built the lead, and then we didn't respond, in my opinion, the way we needed to respond once we got a double-digit lead. And so I think some of the mistakes we made gave them some momentum, gave them maybe a little bit of confidence that they could make runs. And momentum, I thought, was really the story of the latter part of the first half and the early part of the second half. I thought they had momentum. And they played to it. But I was proud of our guys. First time this year with this group that we faced some adversity. And so the way our guys responded to that adversity, I think speaks to their character and their work ethic. I thought they really locked in and did a good job of battling through and finding ways to get the win. And, a lot of different lessons from the game. They shot the ball frequently at a high clip of the three-point line. And we knew coming in that would be a key to the game. So you look at the stat sheet, you see 11 made threes, 42%. Kind of tells a story in itself. They got a third of their misses back, and so that tells a story in itself. Obviously, we had to change some things defensively because of the way their five-man was playing. He had a really good game. Obviously, shot the ball really well from the three-point line. So we had to kind of go a little smaller and switch some things up, which impacted our ability to rebound the ball. But I thought our guys down the stretch did a really good job of executing two huge rebounds down the stretch and made free throws. So just really proud that we were able to get the win. And wasn't perfect, but you always want to be able to take your lessons through winning rather than through losing. And so the guys did a good job of being able to get the win today.
How do you help the guys during some of those moments, during timeouts? What kind of things can a coach say to help them get to that person?
Well, I think they want to play well. It's not like they're out there not trying to play well. So every situation is different. Some of it is self-inflicted. Some of it, basketball is a game of runs, right? And I thought in the second half, UMBC, they got momentum. They were feeling good. They were making shots. They had momentum, right? And so we just have to be able to understand that that's a part of basketball. Some of it, like I said earlier, we kind of did to ourselves. So we have to be accountable for that, right? And so this early in the year, second regular season game of the year, most of the teaching is done on film, and then just trying to build habits at this stage that will be sustainable for us as we move forward, right? Because we understand the challenges will continue to come, and so having a level of maturity to just stay the course, trust what we do and how we do it, and continue to build those habits that are going to allow us to have success. We try to play to a certain standard. We didn't necessarily meet that today in a few different areas. So we'll go look at the film and figure out why and what we need to do to try to be better.
Anthony, how about the way Jayon's kind of really blossomed a little bit?
Yeah, man, I think he was instrumental today. You know, their 5-man went 4 for 4 from the 3-point line, right? He kind of changed the trajectory of the game. Just thought he had a really good game today, and I thought Jayon came in and he gave us just some versatility there, you know, and whatever we asked of him, whether it's, you know, to play the role that he played today or just different things, I'm just really proud of his stick-to-itiveness, if that's a word. I think he's grown so much in the 3 years that he's been here, you know, from a guy that, you know, just was trying to figure out how to get on the floor and what he did well and what he didn't do well, to a guy that's really worked hard to become an integral part of our team and our team's success.
Is his story really a lesson for a lot of guys that, you know, you can stay and wait for your chance?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a part of college basketball, you know, and so hopefully, you know, that for young players to understand. Yeah, I think Jayon's, you know, he's an example of what it means to put your head down and go to work, you know, and understand, you know, the opportunities you have and the opportunities you can create for yourself through hard work.
Javon stepped on the line there. You know, he's been into situations before,
Yeah.
but first time this season, that's all almost.
Yeah, you know, I thought down the stretch, I thought we executed pretty well. You know, the actions that we wanted down the stretch. I think 1:45 to go. You know, those we call them special situations. You know, we wanted the ball in his hands, and I thought he made good decisions with the ball. That's all you can ask. You know, and we got good looks, 2 huge offensive rebounds. I think kind of secured it, and then, you know, just the awareness to put the ball back in his hands, and you know, he was able to go and convert those free throws to give us a 2-possession lead. That was huge, and then obviously, you know, collectively the stop. You know, with 20 seconds to go, being able to get a stop and secure a rebound and get the win was huge as well.
Defense brought you back again.
Yeah. I thought the guys, you know, like I said, you know, we called a timeout there. I think down 6 after a basket, and you know, I thought they needed to just understand the situation, and you know, you never want to get too high, never want to get too low, right? And so those are lessons. So I thought from that point on, we kind of settled in and just stayed the course. And you know, it was a really good game. You know, and you're going to need those type of games throughout the year. You know, like I said, it's always good to learn those lessons and win at the same time.
Big game on Tuesday. Looking forward to playing on the campus site this year after 2 years in a downtown arena.
Yeah, I think it's great for both schools. You know, I can remember the day when we would do that on a regular basis. So, you know, this is the next rendition of the game. I'm really grateful that they're willing to continue the series. You know, continue to play the game, and so they got a really good team. And I think our guys will be excited to play. I think their guys will be excited to play, and it should be a great atmosphere.
If you remember about last year's game, you guys made a great comeback. But,
Yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, obviously it's 2 different teams this year. You know, I thought they were able to kind of dictate the terms of the fight, so to speak, the majority of the game last year. I thought their physicality, their ability to rebound the ball, I thought they kind of, you know, overwhelmed us at times. And so we've got to understand, even though it's a different group, you know, I think they do a really good job of a style of play. You know, so we've got to be able to be ready for that on both sides of the ball.
Okay.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you, Coach.
Sounds good. Kind of good. You said